Yes, very, very appropriate character to be started. Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Our Father and God, to you be the glory for today, the glory of everything. 6 years, we embarked on this voyage. In your love and mercy, we are batting today safely, successfully, to your glory. Thank you, our Father and God. Thank you for the dream. Thank you for the enabling resources you provided the dreamers. Thank you for the collaborative efforts of all and sundry. Thank you for the lives of these children of yours, the very first batch, doctors to serve humanity. All glory, all honor, all adoration, Father, we ascribe to you today. Accept our offer of thanksgiving and all that we have to do for the rest of this day. May we do them safely, successfully to your glory. Thank you, Father. That's our prayer through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Representative of the Minister of Education, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Government Council and his wife, members of the University Board of Trustees, the Vice Chancellor and Chairman of Senate, members of the University Government Council, the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, Deputy Vice Chancellor and Chief Medical Director of Primary University Hospital, the Acting Registrar and Secretary to Council, other principal office bearers of the university, justices of the Supreme Court, Appeal Court, and other courts serving are retired, my lords, spiritual and temporal, deans, directors and coordinators, heads of department and heads of unit, professors and members of the university senate, members of the university congregation, other staff of the university, distinguished invited guests, inductees and parents of inductees, students of Pamo University of Medical Sciences, members of the Fourth Estate of Iran, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to welcome you to this epoch-making event, being the first induction and oath-taking ceremony of medical graduates of Pamo University of Medical Sciences. My name is Dr. Anthony Ilamodi. History beckons on us, and today we are at the crossroads of history because the events of today will be available in the annals of this space-setting university. In record time, without any form of compromise and in conformity with international best practices, this fast-growing university has indeed come of age. Now, at full term of maturation, we gather to witness the induction and oath-taking ceremony of the pioneer MBBS graduates, which will formally usher them into the medical profession. Please, a round of applause for this university and this amazing achievement. I have to humbly praise the importance of all speakers at this event to make their so that we can conclude the proceedings of this ceremony timelessly, bearing in mind that the third convocation ceremony will happen immediately afterwards. And I thank you in anticipation of your cooperation. As you can see, this ceremony is being graced by the creme de la creme of both town and ground. This is an August gathering of August personalities in the month of December. It is now my duty to specially recognize and warmly welcome special dignitaries. Leading this stellar cast is the representative of the Minister of Education, Professor Owunari Georgiou, who is also the Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt. An icon of excellence and a golden governor of Nigeria, a Knight Commander of St. Gregory the Great, a Commander Brother of Nigeria, a Grand Minister of Rivers State, the former Executive Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Sir Dr. Peter Otunuga Odiyi, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council. May I especially recognize a distinguished jurist and a legal luminary, a mobile encyclopedia of Nigerian judiciary. She has flexed her muscles at the highest realms of the judiciary. The 51st chairman of the body of benchers, the former first lady of Rivers State, the commander of the Federal Republic. My Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Adele, JSC, retired. I also have to recognize Mr. Peter O. Odili Jr., member of the Board of Trustees. I have to recognize the post-setting Vice Chancellor of Primary University of Medical Sciences, Professor Michael Dejomaro, fellow Royal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. This allows me to quickly recognize Dr. Adeze Ore, the Honorable Commissioner of Health, Rivers State. The Vice Chancellor is ably supported by the Deputy Vice Chancellor and CMD of Palmer University Hospital, the very distinguished Professor Christy Mata. The Acting Registrar and Secretary to Council is Dr. Dakori Charles Danville. We have here Mr. Fortune Alfred, the representative of the British High Commissioner. Allow me to recognize Dr. Uche Ojima, President, Nigerian Medical Association. And back at home there, we have Dr. Ebi Robinson, Chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, Rivers State Branch. Professor Jerry Israel is the National Publicity Secretary, NME National. From the women's wing, we have Professor Rosemary Ogu, National President, Medical Women's Association of Nigeria. Professor Tamino Jaja is the Deputy Chairman of Medical Advisory Committee and a consultant pediatrician at UPTH. We have Honorable Karen Reginald, Director, MTN Foundation. Let me recognize Professor Chizindu Akubudike Aleko, Chief Medical Director, Rivers State University Teaching Hospital. Your people are welcoming you home. Professor Chitro Oluwenu is the Provost College of Medical Sciences, Rivers State University, and Chairman, Association of Provosts of Medical Colleges in Nigeria. Dr. Ipali Bohari is a former Honorable Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission. Barrister Wogu Bones is the former River Attorney General of Rivers State. We have Professor M.R. Akpa, Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, University of Port Harcourt. Professor Gracia A.K. is the Director, Institute of Maternal and Child Health, University of Port Harcourt. Professor Omosibi Maduka is the Director, Center for Health and Development, University of Port Harcourt. Please, I have to introduce Dr. Ebere. A round of applause for Dr. Ebere. We also have Professor John Ikimano, Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Professor Alice Inte is a former Dean of Faculty of Clinical Sciences. Professor Osekwewe Adebayo Ejele is a Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, Mudiana University, Ira, Edo State. Please let me recognize Professor Ifeoma Anochie, the Professor of Pediatrics and Child Health in University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. In the same breath, Professor Azonta Chabjombo is a Professor of Pediatrics and Child Health. I will not fail to recognize Associate Professor Friday Aaron, immediate past Chief Medical Director, Rivers State University Teaching Hospital. Professor Henry A. Ugbana is the Chief Medical Director, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. Let me recognize from the Department of Surgery, Professor Okonta and Dr. E. Ocheli. Dr. B.O.A. Tribe is the head department of obstetrics and gynecology, River State University Teaching Hospital. Professor Upe Abu is also of obstetrics and gynecology, River State University Teaching Hospital. Dr. Esther Ewunda is the head of Department of Obstetrics, River State University. The former head of Department of Surgery and Former University of Medical Sciences, Dr. Rex F.O. Ija. Dr. Michael Ogba is of the Department of Surgery, River State University Teaching Hospital. Professor Iseso Magbogo is also of the Department of Surgery, River State University Teaching Hospital. In the name of the Dean of Clinical Sciences, allow me to specially recognize all our deans. We have our dean here, Professor Karim Aire, Dean Faculty of Clinical Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, the list appears endless, but from time to time, we will continue to recognize our distinguished personalities here. But very quickly, let me now invite a legendary professor of obstetrics and gynecology, the very distinguished Vice Chancellor of Former University of Medical Sciences, Professor Michael Dejomaro, to please deliver the opening remarks.
The Pro-Chancellor, sir, and Chairman of the Council, members of the Council present here, Honorable Minister of Education, here well represented by Professor George Will. Let me stand on existing protocol to save time. Also, I'm going to make my address very, very brief indeed because we are running behind time. This is a very unique ceremony today that we are celebrating and making history. So that we call so many epoch-making events, singular events, extraordinary events, most remarkable events, and because for 6 years, Palmer University Medical Sciences ran and continued all academic activity uninterrupted, making it possible for our graduating students to graduate purely on time 6 years after the commencement of undergraduate studies. This is a very rare and important feat, and I want to congratulate the Pro-Chancellor who made it possible, and the students who played their role by participating in activities and taking part in the lectures. I also want to congratulate all the academic staff, the deans, the professors, the lecturers who taught the students and got them ready for this occasion. It's also unique that in this graduating class, I have 40 students who are admitted and joined academic activities 10th April 2018, and all 40 are today graduating. Congratulations. Among the graduates have got extraordinary doctors emerging with high honors, distinctions galore, and really this has been an outstanding class. And today we are releasing this class of doctors into the River State to serve medical profession of River States, to serve in the country as doctors, and to serve in the world as doctors who are going out of science and medicine. This will be a very quick ceremony, and once more, on behalf of the Pro-Chancellor and members of the Council, management, and all staff here present, welcome and congratulations for this unique event. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the Vice Chancellor. It is in keeping with the mantra of saving the best for the last. Let me now specially introduce our chief inductor. He's the actual boss of this ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. T.A.B. Sanusi, Registrar, CEO, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. Very soon we will be led by the very erudite scholar and our guest lecturer of today. I have to now introduce Professor Musa Brebo. Yes, our guest lecturer is Professor Musa Brodo. He has several degrees and accolades. And I tell you, so much is involved in the making of a man like Professor Brodo. I do not feel competent enough to talk to you about this man. Let me now invite the very distinguished Professor Anele Ibekaba to deliver the citation on our guest lecturer. Professor Ibekaba, please.
MC, thanks for making my work easy. I stand on all the existing protocols. It's my distinct honor and privilege as to introduce our distinguished guest and lecturer, Professor Musa Mohammed Rodu. Musa, as I normally call you, although you were my president in the National College, but now I command you to stand up. Musa Mohammed Rodu, short form of which I normally call him Musa, whose parents were from Kano, it was born in Brooklyn, near Jos, Plateau State, on 22nd of June, 1952. His early education was spent in Brooklyn and AL schools and provincial secondary school, where he obtained Graduands with Cyprus school certificate in 1970, as well as Government College Kefi in Nasarawa State, where he obtained his higher school certificate in 1972. Musa was privileged to secure a dual admission to study medicine at the University of Ibadan and Ahmadu Bello University in 1973. But he opted for ABU Zaria, where he graduated MBBS in 1978. After his house job at Jos General Hospital and Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, Kano, he completed his NYSC in 1981. At Methodist Maternity Hospital, Ikole Ekiti, now in Ekiti State. The professional training and work experience of Musa Brodo include appointment as a medical officer by the Health Services Management Board, Kano State. In 1981, with a sponsored in-service training as one of the pioneer honorary resident doctors to Ahmadu Bello University Hospital, Zaria, where he obtained fellowship of the National Postgraduate Medical College with specialization in gastroenterology in 1986. During his residency training period, he was sponsored by the Kano State government in 1985 on a one-way attachment in the Department of Gastroenterology at St. Bart's Teaching Hospital, London, where he obtained a certificate in hepatology from the famous King's College Hospital, London. Professor Brodo from 1987 to 1990 worked at Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, Kano, as consultant physician and subsequently as senior consultant and head department of medicine. In November 1990, Professor Brodo transferred his services to the then newly established Bayero University Medical School, Kano, as its pioneer head of medicine. He later became the dean of the medical school. In this new position, he was tasked with curriculum and infrastructure development, staff recruitment, and seeking MBC and MBC accreditation for his programs. He was promoted to the post of leader in 2010 and a professor of medicine in 2014. Professor Brodo has supervised more than 40 dissertations President of Nigerian Society for Gastroenterology and Hepatology, editor of the Nigerian Journal for Basic and Clinical Sciences. Professor Bruno has also served the National Postgraduate Medical College in various capacities, including as Kano Center Coordinator for the Primary Fellowship Examination, examiner for Parts 1 and 2 exams, Chairman, Gastroenterology Subcommittee, editor, National Postgraduate Medical Journal, and member of the College Osmology Committee, as well as the college president. Professor Bruno performed excellently well. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Bruno's pedigree speaks volumes about his personality and academic excellence. Distinguished Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor and Visitor to the University, Vice Chancellor, invited Vice Chancellors, fellow members of Senate, faculty, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen. They join me in extending our appreciation to Professor Musa for his academic excellence, commitment to the ideals of the medical profession, and for honoring us with his presence and to deliver today's lecture as we graduate our first set of medical doctors. Professor Musa Mohammed Biroud, you are welcome to Cameroon University of Medical Sciences. Thank you.
While the citation was going on, His Excellency, the former Executive Governor of Bauchi State, welcome. Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Abubakar, SA. You're welcome, Excellency.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem. The representative of the Minister of Education, the Vice Chancellor of University of Port Harcourt, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Board of Palmer University, the Vice Chancellor, Palmer University, our distinguished Mrs. Ojili, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired, and other distinguished members of the High Table, please allow me to stand on existing protocol as I make this presentation, which in my personal capacity I regard as unique for my association with this university medical education training from its inception. I understand I have only 15 minutes to make this presentation, which is very onerous. The paper is at least 20 pages. I do hope you will have the opportunity to read the full text. But let me start by saying that what we are doing today, which is graduating medical doctors for the medical profession and for humanity, is something that has been attributed to Hippocrates, the year 460 BC, as starting the rudiments of what we practice today as modern medicine. But it is good speculation that indeed medical training and practice started much earlier than this, since man came to this earth and started encountering illnesses. I'm sure he made efforts to look for remedies, and that must have been the beginning of medical training and practice. Now I refer to this glorious long history of medical education for the good it has done to humanity, and by virtue of which humanity itself recognize the good work of doctors serving them efficiently, selflessly, and with humility. And for these good reasons, doctors and the medical profession have been in high esteem in the eyes of society for good reasons. However, it's to our knowing and worry for all the stakeholders in the medical profession that recently this esteemed position has been drifting with great concern for stakeholders, particularly teachers. And for this reason, I have decided when I was given the opportunity to choose what to speak on, to talk on the theme of our short discussion today, which is medical education in Nigeria at crossroads, the role of the stakeholders in the rescue. The chairman of this meeting, and I think is the pro-chancellor, if I understand it right, let me emphasize that this great work that has been done over time to produce wonderful doctors appears to be having a setback globally, but not more noticeably in our setting where we have had challenges with running this medical education with the substantial reduction in the standard of our doctors, additional to the numbers that we have been able to produce to address our health system. So what I propose to do is to briefly refer to the challenges of medical education in Nigeria and how best we can address them, learning from our early history of the development of medical education and the wonderful doctors we have been able to produce at the inception of medical education in Nigeria way back in 1948. Are practical. And if we succeed in trying to accept some of the major forward, and even beyond that, we succeed in arising in this meeting with actions that will ameliorate this decline and restore the glory of our health system, thereby encouraging more confidence in our healthcare delivery and obviating the major drift of our population to alternative care whose consequences would have achieved a lot. Mr. Chair, to be able to do this, since there is no time, recall that before 1948, by responsible action of government, we were able to start the production of assistant doctors from Kano School of Hygiene and Yaba College of Technology during the colonial eras, when those doctors did wonders in the absence of truly trained doctors. True to our aspiration as a nation and concerned by our government's then and the best teachers at that time, the University of Ibadan came into being in 1948. And by 1958, it started producing its own fully trained doctors in Nigeria for our health services. Subsequently, due to responsible action of government, we were able to found between 1962 and 1973 additional 6 universities and their medical schools by actions of the federal government upon regional governments. And subsequently, and I continue to emphasize this phrase, by concern and responsible action of government, additional 9 nicknamed sister universities were established in nooks and corners of Nigeria, including Calabar, involving my degree for corporate secretary, and Bayero in Kano. The characteristics of these early medical schools over these 30 years are the issues I want to draw our attention to. Government at that time regarded it as a responsibility to make all it could to establish medical schools, funding them adequately, providing facilities and teachers. As a result of this, with the presence of dedicated teachers fully motivated to do their work with minimum distraction to other clients, the result was the production of these wonderful doctors that were able to serve Nigeria and the world in a very unique fashion. This has been our legacy, and there is no reason why Nigeria should slide down in this important area. Unfortunately, as we progress between 2000 and 2023, 23 years, including this year, we produce many more universities and their teaching hospitals, predominantly by state government, a few by federal government, and a few by private investors. During this time, the schools were characterized with no very, very clear commitment to funding. They were often poorly planned, established environment, reasons, largely political, and sometimes for altruistic considerations. Often, their teachers were ad hoc, arising from other established universities, thereby usurping the capabilities of the former. This unfortunate situation has led us to what we are today. But I must say, the story has not been very gloomy during the period that I regard as not so glorious. For indeed, there have been efforts by several state governments to establish high-class medical schools. Many, but let me cite the University of Lagos and Kaduna State, who wonderfully supporting their medical schools with production of very, very good teachers and practitioners. Also in the private sector, a lot has been done by several proprietors that has ensured the production of good quality doctors, thereby alleviating federal government's responsibility in this critical area of manpower development. Allow me to single out at this stage the exemplary role of Harvard University Medical Science Department, the first of its kind in this specialized area, where, as we have heard, over the last 6 years, we have worked very, very well to ensure that within space of 6 years, they have been able to produce their first set of graduating medical doctors. I have followed the development of this university very, very closely from the onset. And I must say that they have worked tirelessly, ensuring that they are able to satisfy both NUC and NDCN with their strict criteria to allow them to graduate today. And from the primary motivation of the founder of this university, the current Chancellor and Chairman of Council, deliberate effort was made to ensure that these doctors have been given requisite knowledge, skill, and correct attitude to be able to work wonderfully as doctors with passion, pride, as patients, servants, rather than masters of passion. A slogan of this primary university that I found very, very attractive. Let me specifically recognize the doggedness, foresight, hard work of the founder of this university, His Excellency, Dr. Peter Otuni Odulisio, and for all he has done, and I hope he will continue to do the overall view of humanity. His Excellency, Shalani, the former head of state, Yusagar, and his as chairman of board of trustees and his council. I must recognize the pioneering work of the Vice Chancellor and his staff in ensuring that we have produced what we have today. I sincerely hope that other private proprietors, even governments, would consider what is happening in Pamo and copy it with the overall work of our society. Now, let me briefly say that looking back at our history, the current challenges in medical education are many, dwindling numbers, reducing quality, static curriculum, inadequate funding, inadequate infrastructure, social resources, and now very dangerously, this phenomenon of migration with large numbers of our teachers and residents and even trainees to other clients that we don't appear to be concerned about, which no doubt will consume this health sector if we do not take actions immediately. So essentially, we have issues of quantity, which is inadequate, an issue of quality, which is coming down. Thank you for telling me I have 5 more minutes. I'm sure you are going to give me an additional 5 minutes to make it plenty so that the message goes, but I'm mindful of the convocation. So in terms of quantity, information that we have from the Medical and Dental Council has shown, despite having now 49 public and private medical schools, most of them with accreditation, with annual intake of between 50 to 180, and together producing 5,000 doctors annually. And with the effort of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria since inception to 2022, where they have produced more than 6,000 highly qualified specialists in various areas, serving well within and outside the country. The current total number of practicing doctors is not more than 30,000, with a population of 230 million, giving us a doctor to population ratio of 1 to over 7,000. A far cry from the expected 1 doctor to 1,000 population. Now, even if we don't have brain drain anymore, and we continue to produce this number of doctors, and assuming we make sure that our population develops a zero increase, it will take us nothing 40 years to produce the doctors we require for this minimum doctor population ratio. This is a staggering problem, but Mr. Chairman, let me say, a few years ago, NUC, NDCN, and National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, by virtue of a visit to Egypt, who was working with numbers of doctors, saw a model of what they did to get out of this problem, which I am suggesting we should consider in our own peculiarities. They increased the number of their general hospitals to serve the teaching hospitals as teaching ground by upgrading them. They had a vigorous postgraduate training program to produce teachers and provided adequate welfare for them. They improved their curriculum to make it efficient to produce doctors in 4 years, and they used 2 years of internship under intense training for the candidates to have additional expertise. And by all of these things, currently they produce more than 10,000 high-quality doctors annually, with only 27 medical schools, with some of them having more than 10 teaching hospitals affiliated to them. There is no reason why government, if it rises to the occasion, this cannot be repeated in Nigeria. And this is one of my submissions for our kind consideration and possible take-up. Mr. Chairman, we see in terms of quality, we have had some drifts, despite the fact that we are still producing good doctors. Teachers in the system for over 40 years do understand what they are producing now is not what they were producing before, particularly in the areas of skills and manners. And the reasons for this are varied. Some are related to the teachers who are becoming increasingly unhappy about the setting without working tools and inadequate pay and have started migrating. And this migration is increasing with dangerous training now in certain very well-established first-generation medical schools. You have departments that are about to close. Now, this is a very dangerous warning for us to look at. So if we cannot produce doctors, because the residents now are not patronizing the two colleges, they are running away, and some of the teachers are going away. And if we continue in this direction without federal government ensuring, and has been said before and before, that they must declare this brain drain as a dangerous situation, requiring a national emergency to address it with all it takes to ensure that we retain our doctors, we are going to be in a very catastrophic situation. Surprisingly, recently, with the young students, I hope this is not the case with Harbour, they are showing increasing lack of interest in the training itself for some funny reasons which we do not understand, which is totally different from what we used to see before. And recognizing that they are very privileged to have gotten the less than 20% position of those who are qualified to get this is very, very worrying. And I think beyond using JAM's course to put them into medical positions, as is being done elsewhere, we must have additional criteria that will look at their thinking, their psyche, their background, or their long-term thinking, not necessarily what their parents want them to do. So that if they are really not candidates for medicine, they'll go somewhere and allow those who are going to go to doctor. I suggest that we consider this carefully. Of course, they have increasing problem with finances. And I take it if we do mentorship and include more mentorship, the liability is going to be on the teachers who will not only come asking for how to learn, but probably how to get finances from the teachers to learn their education. But that notwithstanding, I think mentorship should be done vigorously. Our co-creators, private and public, government in particular, must sit up and ensure that we have provided for these medical schools in such a way that the environment is appropriate for us to be able to train. And our curriculum, which is archaic, needs to be modified as has been done elsewhere. But in this regard, I must congratulate the National College as well as University of Ibadan. And very recently, NUC itself had done a rigorous review of the curriculum to make it student-centered, self-directional, and competency-based. But the issue here, from experience, now there is a proper implementation strategy to be able to ensure that the teachers implement this program, we will not benefit from all this. So, Mr. Chairman, these major stakeholders, if they do their bit, there is a high chance that we can salvage the situation for the better. Let me, with your permission, take 2 minutes to be able to admonish our graduating doctors. As I have alluded to, this position you are today is a privileged position. 20% of those eligible have been able to get it, including you. So please regard it with pride and do all it takes to be able to pay back to your teachers, to your parents, and all those that have contributed to being where you are today. Remember, if all these teachers around had decided to japa, you will not have qualified today. So remember this, we have the responsibility to take care of ourselves despite difficulties while we look elsewhere as much as possible. And I commend our teachers who have stayed back despite the harsh environment and this funny, curious journey of the Naira trying to find its own level, which I do not understand at all. We will continue, in my view, as teachers to stay back for moral reasons to ensure that what has been passed on to us is being passed to the next generation on moral grounds, despite the harsh situations. But having clapped for the doctors, we must urge government that if the teachers cannot pay salaries of people working for them, their children can go to those schools. This request for them is going to be short-lived. So government must rise and do its best, and the public workers that are starting medical school to ensure that we have done all it takes. Please remember, my young friends, that a lot of people will come to you and under oath, you are obliged to show professionalism, to deploy knowledge, skills, and good manners in looking after them and protecting their secrets. Therefore, trust, honesty, empathy, respect, beneficence, and non-maleficence should be a mantra of good. Please, as we have said, our own be patient servants rather than their masters, as is consistent with the slogan of your medical school, Tamil University. Remember where you are, your alma mater, Tamil University, and the wider medical fraternity that you soon join and ensure you follow correctly. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, before we take me out of this place, and the students send me away because I want to be administered the rest, let me recapitulate that we were able to produce wonderful doctors before because of responsible action of government and teachers. This is possible to be done today. This is the time for sober reflection that if we work hard, we can salvage this critical, important manpower sector so that we continue to serve our people well and improve their socioeconomic well-being, that they may continue to make Nigeria pride. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I would like to thank you most sincerely again for the opportunity to make this presentation, and for all of you listening, which I do not take for granted. And once more, let me congratulate Tamil University, its pro-chancellor and chairman of council, and the students and the teachers for this wonderful moment. And we pray to Almighty God to be with you. And remember to be humble. It has been said, truly told, those who are humble shall be exalted. And then Almighty Lord be your shepherd, so that you shall not falter. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Professor Musa for that wonderful lecture. When a professor professes, so much is said and so much is learned. Thank you very much for your guest lecture. Another round of applause for Professor Musa Bredo. I have to quickly introduce the representative of the Vice Chancellor of Rivers State University, Professor V.B. Omubo Petro, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics. You're welcome, sir. Let me also recognize the presence of Mrs. Eme Akawo, the wife of the former ambassador to South Korea. We also have here Professor Kinekawo Gray, DSSRS, Executive Secretary, Rivers State Primary Health Care Management Board. The President, National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, Professor Ake Oshibogo, would have loved to be here, but he sent his apologies. And Professor Nelson Gambaifa, former acting MD of NDDC, also sent his apologies. Let me quickly invite the Dean of Clinical Sciences, Professor Karim Ayrede, to quickly present the candidates for induction. Mr. Lee, sir. Well, because of time, I will say I'll start by existing protocols. Pro-Chancellor, sir. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the culmination of 6 years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. As the dean of the faculty, it is my great honor to stand before you and officially welcome our new and pioneering and aspiring 40 individuals into the noble profession of medicine. Our graduates have not merely studied medicine, but they have embraced it as a calling, a responsibility to heal and serve humanity. Today, we witness the fruits of their labor, and I couldn't be the proudest dean. In fact, I feel like doing the Buga dance. As we induct these graduates into the medical profession, I urge them to carry with them the core values instilled during their time here: compassion, integrity, honesty, the commitment to lifelong learning. These are the pillars upon which great medical professionals build their careers. Embrace the challenges that is ahead with the same vigor and vigilance that has brought you to this point. Finally, I extend my deepest congratulations to the graduates and the families and the faculty who have played an integral role in shaping your bright lines. As you embark on this new chapter, remember the words of Sir William Osler. The good physician treats the disease, but the great physician treats the patient who has the disease. It's a big difference. I wish you all be great physicians in the world, dedicated to not only treating illness, but also healing souls. Congratulations indeed, and in your journey, your medical profession be as remarkable as the journey that brought you here today. Thank you, and God richly bless you all. Now, I request all the graduates to be standing and remain standing. It is my privilege and honor to present these notable 40 graduates who have been endowed in knowledge, learning, and character for admission into the noble field of medicine, sir. Thank you. This is the Kairos moment, and we are clearly at the summit point, the highest point of the ceremony. I have to now request, even though I know the candidates are standing, they are waiting and ready, but the chief inductor has to oblige us. So, in this capacity as the chief inductor, he is what we call Roman locutor S, Cosa Finita S. When Rome has spoken, it is final. If he says yes, then it is yes. Let me now invite Dr. T.A.B. Sanusi to perform a validly and trusted role for him.
The inductees, can you please be seated for a while? The chairman of this occasion, who is no other person like the founder, the pro-chancellor, or chairman of the council, Sir Dr. Peter Odili, CON, and his amiable wife, a retired judge of the Supreme Court. The observation of the Honorable Minister, one of our own, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, the Vice Chancellor of Palmer University of Medical Sciences, is on record that this is the first private monodisciplinary institution in this country. The principal officers of the university, the guest lecturer, the Honorable Commissioner for Health in our state, the CMD of the teaching hospital here, and the CMD of the other sister teaching hospitals in Port Harcourt here, and their CMAPs, other members of the governing council present here, the chairman, Committee of Provost of Medical Schools in Nigeria, our own president, authentic president, MMA, and the chairman of the staff chapter, parents and guardians, the inductees, board reports, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. While congratulating the inductees, I welcome you all to this induction ceremony, the first of its kind in this institution. I cannot remember when last we had medical students being graduated at 6 years exactly. For over 20 years I've been in council. This is better, I must confess to you. And like I said, we need to advise the other vice chancellors to come and study how this has become a reality. But at a point, you discover Dallas University of Sciences, the first has spent 13 years. University of Abuja, 12 years. You can't believe. Kaduna State University, 10. Gombe State University, 10. On this, I want to commend the management of Palmer University of Medical Sciences. This is coming at a time when there is acute shortage of healthcare workers in this country, even though we are off the target as prescribed by WHO. With the coming of this administration, I was summoned to the ministry and I was asked to see what we can do to actually increase the carrying capacities of our medical schools in this country. But the caveat that the standards must not be lowered. Well, we have to give our submissions. But before then, PAMO have been proactive. They built a multi-purpose laboratory that can take up to 200 students at a go. And it's part of what we have advised the public institutions that the capacity carrying at the basic medical sciences and the basic medical sciences be tremendously improved upon. If you have a purpose laboratory that can take nothing less than 250 students at a go, then that will be the starting point. Then the general hospitals, specialized hospitals around. There is no doubt that quite a lot of them have specialists. If you are conversant with UK, you discover that the medical students are never trained in one institution. They move around. Why can't we do same here? So that we can actually increase the number of healthcare workers who graduate so that they can take care of our teeming population. It's most unfortunate that our population is growing at a geometrical rate rather than medical rate, because some of these things, people just sit down and start having children without planning for them. It's most unfortunate. And most often, we blame government instead of issuing blame ourselves. Big men will not have more than 3 or 4 children. The so-called non-big men having 10, 15 children, which is monthly salary of 30,000. How do you want to take care? I'm sorry, that is the reality. But we just have to work together and ensure that right thing is being done. Because without caring for our health, we move nowhere. Fortunately, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria was 60 years yesterday. We'll be doing a lot. The guest lecturer said quite a lot of things, but some of those things we are already working on them. We are already working on them because it's because we are healthy. That's why we are here today. If we are not healthy, we won't be here. And there is no way you can remove healthcare delivery system from medical education. And when you look around, especially the public institutions in the university setting, the only program that involves 2 ministries is a medical program, because the lecturers are primarily in the university mission education. Without the establishment of the college, there cannot be established the teaching hospital. And that is where the skills are actually acquired. Skills are very, very important. And that's why our degrees are both academic and professional. There is no doubt that medical graduates in Nigeria are well sought after outside the country. Despite the fact that we believe that our standards are going down, in this sense, it's because we need to improve on it. Yet, our people still do well. And that's why I'm very happy with the noting noting again that you admitted 40 and you are graduating 40. That is commendable. Like the guest lecturer said, for more than 20 years, council have been pushing for oral interview before admitting the student into the medical school, because some of them are being forced into the medical school. Some don't have the right attitude of being doctors. And that's why you see some of, in spite of that, don't have enough hands, some don't practice medicine again after graduation. So, maybe with this, I want to commend panel because they made sure that the students they admitted were well taught, were well trained, unlike public institutions where they start talking about attrition. And I keep telling them that there's no need to start talking about attrition. If 1, 2, 3 students are not doing well, find out why they are not doing well, with the hope of bringing them up to work up with the standards expected of these people. Having said something about that, let me say something about centralized housemanship. The inductees today are very lucky. If you have been graduated 3, 4 years back, you may be on the street for another 2, 3 years. But now there's a centralized housemanship. We don't discriminate. As long as you are Nigerians, whether you train a private institution or public institution, is for all Nigerians. We don't post anybody We don't post anywhere on council. You log into our website, make your choice. If the hospital is not open, it simply means no vacancy exists. And as members of us, or as officers, you are not members of the ARG. I have to tell you this. But by the Nigerian Constitution, there is freedom of association. Today's induction is a call to service, and that service is service to humanity. When they call you for strike, think twice. If you join them, you're on your own, because the organized in labor law. But we owe our patients that duty of care. The fact that we are going on strike does not mean that we should discharge the patients in the world, because already we owe them that duty of care. And at the same time, accident and emergency must be covered 24 hours a day by way of duty roster, even of the striking doctors, because today's ceremony or induction is a call to service. We cannot afford to leave our people in jeopardy. We cannot afford to actually leave them inside those of them needing attention unattended to. Yes, we recognize that we are in a common law jurisdiction where there's no good. Established against you, the matter is transmitted to the disciplinary tribunal. At the extreme of cases, the tribunal, the panel, can place you on suspension immediately, because we regulate this profession in a manner to safeguard and protect the health of the public. At the tribunal level, rules of evidence relaxed. You are at liberty to attempt to attorney, but we always advise that you come in here with your lawyers. At the end of the trial, it's either you are discharged acquitted, or you are admonished, or you are punished appropriately.
Community Medicine, that is represented by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Peter David. Honorable Justice Mary, first, and with all of you, I am sure you are free with me that we are all best graduating students in the Thank you. And so the doctors have a special award for the first graduating students. We have checked the President of the Chairman's Award at the end of the student. And actually, Abdallah, the vice chairman, actually joined us. I think that what to the Nigerian Medical Association and people to educate and encourage your colleagues and this is happening that I agree with this as part of the idea of the allegiance of the Nigerian Medical Association. President. National Executive Council meeting of the Nigerian Medical Association. Over the weekend in Abuja. The whole Nigerian doctors, how do you begin His Excellency, Sir Dr. FNMA, which is the Fellowship of the Nigerian Medical Association, also agreed to permit the president, do my humble self, to take his lead on the executive administration. The Excellency, with everyone in the community. God bless you, sir. That's another. Chancellor, in addition to the fellow of the enemy, the other partner of Mr. Chancellor. There's the preparation of the period of intensive academic training that has spent 6 years. To follow the experiences of these past years, we have a candidate who has an impressive haul of 8 distinctions out of a possible event. Dr. Sonia Chika Ibe is valedictorian at this induction ceremony. She will now present the valedictory speech.
The Chancellor, sir, the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, I plead to stand on existing protocol. I welcome you all to Pamo University of Medical Sciences, first induction and oath-taking ceremony for Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery graduates. Because of time, I'm going to make my speech, although it was supposed to be longer than this. Sure. So, as you all know, I am Dr. Ibe Sonia Chimka. And I'm grateful to the Almighty God and the management of Pamo University of Medical Sciences for giving me this great privilege to make this speech here today. Today is actually the happiest day of my life because I never imagined that I would honor this way. Standing before you, the lady from a common background, who lost her dad in senior secondary school too, who was denied admissions in public universities on several occasions, 4 to be precise, because maybe I had no money or connection. But the story of my life changed because a great and visionary leader, a man I see as my role model, His Excellency Sir Dr. Peter Odili, and his wife, Justice Mary Odili, conceived the idea of advancing medical education in Rivers State, which gave birth to this great institution, Primary University of Medical Sciences, the first medical university in Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for making my dream a reality today. Even in the establishment of this university, people from my background cannot afford a child to receive the standard of education. If not for the intervention of one of the greatest leaders in Nigeria, the current Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, who as a governor initiated a scholarship scheme for indigenes of rural states in this university. Thank you, sir, for making everyone here become a doctor today, because it's for a fact that if you hadn't intervened on our behalf, many of us would be sitting down here today. For that, I say thank you, sir. I also want to thank the current governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, for continuing the scholarship scheme and making most of us beneficiaries. For that, I say thank you, sir. Congratulations to the Big 40 graduating set. Sorry, I wanted to say so much things, but because of time, I'll just say congratulations. You know that so much effort has been put into our medical education here by the Pro-Chancellor, by the past governor, by the current governor, by your parents, by your loved ones, and by your friends. So as you go out today as enlightened individuals, make sure you don't let them down. Make sure that you don't disappoint them, because the outside world is going to be tough and challenging. Thank you all parents for coming today. You have been a major support system for us all in this auditorium. I want to say thank you all, our parents, our families, our guardians. I want to thank my mom, Mrs. Stella today, for taking care of me for the past 23 years. She has been my support system. She has provided for me financially, emotionally. She's just the best. I also want to thank her. Finally, I want to thank God for life, the gift of life, and the strength to achieve this feat. May God bless you all. Congratulations once again, Pioneer Doctors of Primary University of Medical Sciences.
There's so much good have been said, but time is of essence. It is now time to take the response from the Chancellor and Chairman of Council. Just to mention that no Chancellor was a former senior patient of CKC on the chat. Mr. Chancellor, sir, please address this induction ceremony. The representative of the Honorable Minister of Education, the Registrar and Chief Executive of the Nigeria Medical Council, our guest speaker at this historic event,
Our Reverend Monsignor Ioski, my national president of NMA, my state NMA boss, the Honorable Commissioner for Health, proud and happy parents, my dear wife, all very distinguished professors, deans, and the team led by the Vice Chancellor. So much has been said. Let me thank the guest lecturer for making our motto and the university anthem the crux of his speech. Prof, we have some conspiratorial plan to delay your flight for a few more days. We find that you are common in spirit. My new colleagues, Zainab, I didn't hear you shout. We are proud to have you. Let the spirit of today stay with you, be with you, reflect in every action you take from now on as medical doctors. We've talked and talked and talked. The key remains your attitude. Your attitude will make the difference. The discipline you've acquired, don't let it go. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Those are two ingredients that will guarantee permanent success in your life. Let me thank all our guests who have come from far and near, especially the former governor of Bauchi State, who decided that come rain, come shine, whatever the airlines want to do, let them do, but he will be here today and he's here. So I want to thank three persons. One, Professor Hekwaba, for doing the wonderful job of introducing our guest lecturer. But the reason why he was special is that as house officers, he was my next door neighbor in the University of Benin Teaching Hospital as a house officer. The next is Dr. Ebere Rube, who was quietly introduced. Ebere was right now my junior in the college, but we were so close that people didn't know we were not classmates. And he was my companion the day I went to ODV in the field as a house officer to ask for the permission of my late father-in-law to marry my wife. The next person I want to also acknowledge is Dr. Tekena Beribo, who was my classmate and roommate until we got our MBBS in June 1977. Why I single these three people out for one? The man. It is the friends you make now in the course of your study
and as young all doctors. Those are the friends that will start with you for all times. As you grow and become successful, and God blesses your efforts, you begin to get friends who are coming to you because you are successful. There's a difference. So as you step out of here today, go fully armed, knowing that by the special grace of God and the support of all those who made it possible for this to happen, that God will go with you. And tomorrow will be a sweet and happy story for you. For as long as you remain faithful to God and to the oath you have taken. I congratulate all of you. And I want to join us to thank God who has made all this possible by joining my poor voice to sing, my God, my glory, great things has done. May God bless you. Speak that you are swallowing from the Chancellor. Thank you, Mr. Chancellor, for this wonderful event. Very quickly, I have the permission of Professor Chizunde Aliko, Chief Medical Director of River State University Teaching Hospital, to announce that the best 5 medical doctors who have just graduated have been offered automatic scholarship placement at River State University Teaching Hospital. Wait a minute, there is another one. On his behalf, and of course, by virtue of his position as the CMD of River State University Teaching Hospital, I is announcing a cash award of 250,000 naira to the best graduating student, Dr. Sonia Chinka Igwe. With that euphoria, may I request that we now rise as we take the second stanza of the national anthem. The procession will leave in reverse order. Film Square, please. Thank you for finding time to be here.